For a few magical laps at Monza, Antonio Giovinazzi ran comfortably third in his home Grand Prix in an Alfa Romeo. Had there been a crowd at the Temple of Speed, the Tifosi would have been ecstatic.
Hamilton then comes into the pits. Pierre Gasly for AlphaTauri in their home race leads the Italian Grand Prix from the Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen in second. Giovinazzi.
Sadly, it wasn't to last. Antonio had to serve a 10-second stop-go penalty for a pit lane infringement, and he was to drop down the order. But it was a reminder of what the 26-year-old from Martina Franca in the boot of Italy can do. And as the Formula One world embraces everything Italian this week with back-to-back races at Monza and Mugello, let's get to know the only Italian on the grid a little bit better. And I promise he'll surprise you. Welcome to Beyond the Grid with me, Tom Clarkson. As has been the case for so many Italian drivers, all of whom have had to fight to break from the shadow cast by Ferrari, Giovinazzi's route to Formula One wasn't easy. Coming from a family of modest means, he was forced at one point to pursue his junior career in China, not the most obvious starting point on the road to Formula One. He eventually returned to Europe and went wheel-to-wheel with the likes of Formula One's newest race winner Pierre Gasly in GP2, narrowly missing out on the championship in 2016. Antonio has long been a member of Ferrari's driver development programme, and he was championed by former Ferrari CEO Sergio Marchionne. Such high-profile links led to him briefly subbing for the injured Pascal Wehrlein at Ferrari-powered Sauber in 2017, before getting a full-time drive with Alfa Romeo last year, with plenty of Ferrari testing and sim work in between. He's now in his second full season of Formula One, and thus far, he's taken the team's only points finish of the campaign when he finished 9th in the season-opening Austrian Grand Prix. It's crazy to think that Antonio is Italy's first Formula One driver since Tonio Liuzzi in 2011. There's no doubt that Giovinazzi's quick, but what made this podcast so enjoyable was there's so much depth to him. Did you know that he loves bees and he's obsessed with white trainers, and he loves the history of his hometown of Martina Franca? Oh, and were you aware that this food-mad driver's career was quite literally shaped by fried chicken? Prepare for all of these insights and much more. Now, I spoke to Antonio in Spa-Francorchamps the day before his big crash in the Grand Prix.
Oh, Giovinazzi is off the road and in the wall. And that is a big crash to bring out the safety car at the very least. Good to see Antonio is out. Good to see that George is all right as well. But both drivers eliminated.
Antonio was on fantastic form and raving about the track, as you'll hear.
For an F1 driver, to drive here in Spa is always a special feeling. It's, I think, the best track to drive a Formula One car.
I mean, everyone says it's a roller coaster, but I mean, it kind of really is. It's a really accurate description, isn't it?
Yes, especially on the first lap when you're doing first, also the installation lap in FP1 and you go to Eau Rouge, you feel your stomach, like when you've been on a roller coaster, and it's something, strange that we never had this before. And it's always, of course, after 2-3 laps, then became easy flat, and also for the stomach, it became normal. But it's always special, it's going up and then you go down again and you go up again. It's a fantastic track.
I've got to ask you, were you flat through Eau Rouge on lap 1 on Friday morning?
So unfortunately, Friday morning F1...
Oh, you didn't do a lap? Oh no, you had the engine. Oh no, that was a really bad question.
Yes. But then in FP2 on the first flying lap, I was flat.
Cool.
Yes.
Do you know, the reason I asked you that was we had Heikki Kovalainen on the show, and he said Lewis Hamilton used to bet him that he would go through Eau Rouge flat on the first outlap of the weekend, and he backed Heikki and Heikki lost because he didn't.
But before maybe was I would say more tough, to do flat because less aerodynamic, less downforce. But now for us it become honestly a straight. It's not anymore a corner, so it's quite good. And it's you will lose quite easy a bet if you do with a driver because it's quite easy to do flat on the first lap.
Now look, looking at 2020, it's a difficult season pace wise, We all know that. But I wanted to ask you what positives you've been able to take out of this season so far. I mean, the qualifying battle with Kimi is going well. Tell me about the positives and what you're able to take from what is even a difficult season.
First of all, I think to score points on the first race was, of course, was a chaotic race. Everything happened, but in the end, you need to be on the right moment in the right time. And I think like a team we did, and I think will be really important 2 points during the season, because we don't know when we can score points again. But yeah, I take it. I'm really happy with that P9 in first race, and after that, like you say, in quali, I think when you have not a fast car, like not enough fast to go to Q3 every race, the main battle is with your teammate, because in the end you drive the same car, the same team and same situation, and in the end, is the driver you want to beat. And especially if you fight with a driver like Kimi Raikkonen, that is not a young driver that want to do well, but is a driver who already won a world championship, plus with a lot of experience, so what how can beat you. And for me it's important to be always in front of him or really close to him, because in terms of reference, I think not many drivers on the first season, on the second season get the comparison with a world champion driver. So I'm really happy with Kimi, especially how we work together, because in the end, of course he's fighting between teammates, but in the end, the important things for the team is that the two drivers work well together. And in the end, if some driver needs some help in some race, you need to have to give this help. And so I think so far we have a good relationship, and I'm really happy to be his teammate and to be the teammate of one world champion driver.
How are you developing as a driver? What's the sort of biggest things you're learning from Kimi, and what do you feel you're doing better now than you were 12 months ago?
I think first of all, the 2 years that I lost in to be the third driver of Ferrari, for me was in the end, when I come back, I can feel that I wasn't the Antonio that I finished the GP2 season in 2016. Or
That's really sorry to interrupt, but that's really interesting that you felt you lost something. What do you feel you lost? Why were you not the same Antonio?
I think, not in terms of speed, because in the end, I was doing some FP1. I was doing some testing with Ferrari, with Sauber at that moment, with Haas. So, in terms of speed, I was quite happy. But you can see, last year in the beginning of the season in qualifying, I was always quite close to Kimi. But then in the race, I was struggling quite a lot, and this is what I was missing from my side, because I can feel that the first lap, wheel to wheel, overtaking, I wasn't me, because if you remember in GP2, I was always in my career I went good overtaking, and last year in the beginning of the season I wasn't me. So after race, I can feel that I was taking back that talent, I would say. And now I think looking back and looking now, I'm just, if you can see lap one, I'm the guy that gain always a position lap one. So, just I'm really happy that I'm finally can see that Antonio is back. And now I just want to, improving. And I think with Kimi beside, I just can be a better driver after 1 year and after 1 year.
Antonio's back. It's really interesting though. And is it about confidence? Is that what's changed?
Yes, in the end it's confidence, and plus, if you miss 2 years and you go back to Formula 3 or Formula 2, I think, you find some rookie, you find, a driver that are a little bit slower than you. But when you come back in Formula 1, that is the maximum of the level of motorsport, and you find just, the best drivers in the world, so they don't give up, they don't give to you a chance. And, this is the hardest things that I found at the beginning of the year.
So, comparing you to Kimi then, what surprised you about him?
That he never give up, he's incredible, because in the end, he have so many years of Formula 1. I can see that he still want to beat me, every time, and he's not give up. Also, if we struggle a little bit with the car, he's always pushing like hell. So, this is something that every young drivers need to see him. He never give up. Also, if the thing going wrong, He's always pushing, and this is something good for me, because I can see that I need still always improving, pushing, and plus also for the team it's good motivation to go forward and try to improve the car.
And when you look at the data, what is Kimi doing that you can learn? Or is there one particular area where he's very strong?
I think this is what I saw also back in the past in Ferrari. I think Kimi in the race management, manage the tires, manage the fuel, everything. I think he's, I would say, one of the best, or maybe the best one. Because how he managed the race from lap 1 to the end is incredible. Sometimes I can have a good start and be in front of him, like maybe with 10 seconds, 12 seconds. But then, I'm sure that in the end of the race, he will recover that gap, because he's really good on managing everything and give, the best in the end of the race when you need the result. And this is something I need to learn from him, because I think he's like I say, one of the best, or maybe the best one.
Sisu, isn't that what the Finns call it? Sisu?
Yes.
Another thing about Kimi, or certainly David Coulthard used to say this, that he always went for a sleep just before the race. Does he still do that?
I don't know. We have a room really close, but I know that he's going in all the time and come out from the room in the last second. But I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. I will ask if he's... to be honest, I'm doing as well.
You have a sleep as well. You've learned that off.
Yes, I just feel more relaxed after the sleep. So especially before qualifying, that I feel more pressure, and I would say I just try to relax, and every time I fully sleep in the end. And but it's I think many drivers is doing. I don't know now which one is doing, but me, and now maybe Kimi, you confirm to me. So it's good things, I think, to do before hard things to do.
Another thing for young drivers when you come into Formula One is dealing with the pressure, isn't it? It's the constant pressure, not only of what you're doing on the racetrack, but people are judging you, everything you say, everything you do outside the car. Has that taken quite a lot of getting used to?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, when you are a driver that you never get something easy. In my career, my dad had not the possibility to pay me the season. So I always, be there because one person helped me. In this case, in karting was Top Kart and PCR that I was racing for free. And there, was some pressure, because if you are not good enough, they know that you don't pay, so they will take another driver. And then I went to Formula Car, and it was Mr. Galael, the dad. I would say it was my second dad, that helped me from Formula 4 to Formula 2. And also in this case, I know that in that moment I was racing for free, and he was paying and invest so much money in me. And I know that if I was not fast enough and not achieve a good result, he will take me out. So this is something I always had in my career. Pressure on every race, and also became a Ferrari driver. I tell you, for an Italian, is not. I think for every Ferrari driver, you got always some pressure. More like you say, also outside of the track, you cannot be a funny guy or whatever. You need to be always on the target. I like to be, for me, Ferrari is always was a dream for me. Since I started my career, I always dreamed to become a Ferrari driver. And when I signed back in 2016, for me was a dream come true. And I like to be part of this fantastic family so far. Now I'm Alfa Romeo driver, still, a Ferrari driver. And I'm really proud, to be, that Italian that finally also is back in Formula One, but in a Ferrari family. So I'm just really proud.
So the point here is that you're used to pressure.
Yes.
Is that really what we're saying? Because you've always had to perform.
Yes, I think in the end, all, like I say, all the drivers that didn't have that opportunity to race, I speak about all the drivers now, they are on the top, like from Lewis or from Sebastian or Verstappen. When you are in the academy, that you need to do a result. So we are on the pressure from since we start in from Formula 4. They are looking you what you are doing. If the results are good enough, if it's not good enough, they will take out and your career is over. So this is something I think the best driver already had since we start on the beginning of our career. For this, when we are in Formula 1, we are able to play and to be good enough to don't feel much the pressure.
We'll get right back with Antonio in just a minute. Now, I'm calling all runners and those of you looking to start clocking up those miles. As you probably already know, getting your stride and technique right is an important part of embarking on a new running regime. But one thing that shouldn't be overlooked, oh no, is your footwear. Step in the new Fresh Foam 1080 V10 from New Balance. These breathable and plush running shoes combine soft foam with energetic rebound, suitable for casual and hardcore runners alike, and they wrap your feet in comfort with every step you take. The new soft-fitting knit upper and ultra heel gives you a stylish look, while the full-length Fresh Foam midsole is made to be fresh for every run, helping you to feel confident and comfortable as you go the distance. So, regardless of whether you're training for an event or simply trying to smash your own personal best, the 1080 V10 from New Balance, that's the best ride on the road. Visit newbalance.com to check them out for yourself. That's newbalance.com. Right, let's get back to Antonio. You said there that your parents weren't able to fund your career. Can we just talk a little bit about your background? And you grew up in the beautiful city of Martina Franca, in the boot of Italy. Yes. Very beautiful, particularly the centre, isn't it? Yes. But not many racing drivers have come from there. Have I got that wrong?
No, you're wrong, actually, because, Antonio Giovinazzi, he actually grew up in Loc Rotondo, that is 5 kilometers from my house. So
I really did get that wrong then, because Tonio was the last Italian driver before you, was it?
So actually, Giovinazzi was from there, and in the end also, Trulli was from Pescara.
Yes.
I know he's 300 kilometers from me, but Giovinazzi was really, he grew up in Loc Rotondo, so honestly, he's 5 kilometers from Martina Franca.
Is he a family friend?
No, but I know him really well, and I saw him when I was a kid, and he was already in Formula One, and he went one time for one event in Martina Franca, actually, because he is actually his family. The brother of his dad is from Martina Franca, so he went to Martina Franca to do an event, and I was there, and because for me, Giovinazzi was a Formula One driver. Formula One for me was the best, and I went there for see him, and it was nice to meet him for the first time.
But where did your passion for racing come from? Because you say you didn't know Tonio when you were young. So is it your dad or?
So I was when I was turning actually 3 years old, and my dad saw it. First of all, the dad of my mom was a race, just a regional race in karting. But plus, my dad saw that I had a lot of passion of cars in general. I could recognize every brand from the car, also from far away. And so when I was turning 3 years old, he just gave me this first go-kart, and I was actually, first of all, when he turned on the engine, I was too scared, and I went, and I say, no, I don't want to drive this one. But then the next day I come back to him and say, okay, you can turn on, and I start to drive on the garden of my house, and after that everything started. I liked it a lot, and every Saturday and Sunday I was, broken the balls to my dad, and knocked his door, and because for him, Saturday and Sunday was the holidays day from work. But at 6:30 I was knocking his door and I say, let's go to the track. And from him I always said maximum support. I would say, I know that from Monday to Friday he was working, and plus he was working also for me, because in that moment it was not easy to find sponsor, but he was working for a company working in transport, and every time he was going to some company. First of all, he asked for sponsorship for me, and then he started to speak about his work, and this every time. And he was able to find a lot of sponsors in that moment, and it made me to start my career in karting. And like I say, I always had his support on Saturday and Sunday, bring me to Lecce, that is 1 hour and 20 minutes from my house, every weekend, and and doing what I liked. And in the end, I think we did a lot of sacrifice, but I remember also the moment that I signed for Ferrari, and the moment also I signed for Alfa Romeo to become an official driver in Formula One, that we were of course happy, but more than happy, I would say, because I remember on the phone I called my dad and I say, Dad, finally we got. And for 1 minute I didn't heard nothing on the phone. And my mom come on the phone and say your dad is crying a lot, so I will call you back. And this is something that make me really proud, and I think proud also my family that we achieved this big goal that we dream since I start my career.
Even emotional now talking about it, isn't it, when you think where you've come from? And are you a bit of a hero in Martina Franca now?
I think F3 I was already, some people start to follow me, but motorsport in Italy in general is, football is more important than motorsport. But then, of course, when I did Formula 2 and then now I'm Formula 1, everyone know me. It's really nice, when I don't spend much time now. This, unfortunately, I have so many friends there, my family is there, but unfortunately I don't spend much time. But when I'm back there, as soon I'm outside of in the town, I'm just feel the passion and the support that everyone give me, and it's a town with 50,000 people, so it's not really big. So of course everyone know me, and this what I think I will miss mostly in Monza this year, because last year I think was many people from Martina Franca. And was something, emotional for me, especially before starting the race. I could see all the people on the grandstand, and was something, especially coming from Spa, that for me was a tough weekend because it was a really good race, but then I crashed in the last lap. And, coming to Monza, I didn't know what to expect, so I say maybe, they will not support me because, I did a stupid mistake, but from Wednesday to Sunday, I felt a complete support. A lot of people from Martina Franca, they were there for me. And in the end, went also, we did a fantastic result, P9 in front of them. And I remember the Sunday night, I was eating with all my friends, and, it was just special things for me.
Now, Martina Franca is known as the Acropolis of Puglia.
Yes.
So put your tourism hat on, and can you tell us what is the best thing about Martina Franca?
You need to go to there because to see what is Martina Franca. I think in general Puglia is now is fantastic. We have I think one of the best sea over there, and plus the food is unbelievable. All the time I went there, I eat so much. Also because my mom is so good on cooking, and all the time I come back
heavier.
The first things my mom said to me is, "You are so skinny, you need to eat." Okay, so let's go, and for 3-4 days I'm eating because in the end I never find something good like this, and when I'm there I'm just try to eat everything I could, and in the end I'm quite lucky because also if I eat a lot I don't gain mass, a lot of kilo, so I still I still can do this, and I'm like I say, food, the place is really good, people they are really good, so for me it's just the perfect town.
You sound like you have a very close family, and so when you were 18 and the decision was made for you to go and do Formula Pilota in China, how big a shout was that? And how difficult was it to be away from mum and dad and family?
Yeah, I think the first things, is the problem became because we were really close together, and when Mr. Riccardo Garay told to my dad that the only opportunity to race in Formula was to go to Jakarta because he was based there, and Sean, is like a brother because we lived together honestly for a lot of times, and I moved there to Indonesia from I think for 7-8 months, really far from my house, and it was also difficult to speak with them because the jet lag was a lot. It was 7-8 hours, so it was not an easy decision. But in the end, I know that for me it was the only opportunity to continue my dream, and also my family knew this, so we had not too much discussion. We took the first flight and I went to Indonesia straight away. But I was not an easy moment for me because it was the first time that I left my family, and I saw them after 6-7 months, and it was not easy at all. I think also for my family, for my mom, for my dad. But in the end, I think if we see back and see now, I think we did the right choice, and we are really happy with what we did.
Did anyone from the family travel with you, or were you on your own?
No, at that moment it was just me, and of course, my dad, like I say, he always follow me, especially on the karting races. But then when especially already in Formula 4, Formula 3, he was a lot of traveling outside of Italy, so also for his job was not ideal. But I always, as soon as he got a chance to come with me, he was always there. And I think in the best moments, I always find my dad, and this, if you look at picture and one of the best podium in my career in Monza in GP2, the first guy I found actually when I stopped the car, I don't know how he did, to be honest, he still don't know as well. But when I stopped the car and I opened my visor, the first guy was in front of me was my dad. And this is something he always, when also I won in karting race, the first guy who was waiting for me was my dad. So for me, he's the guy that I think I need to say the big thanks to him, because without him, for sure, I will not be here. But also, my mom, my sister, they always follow me, and they still, from Friday to Sunday for them is they stay at home, they watch only me, and it's the mood is going also up and down how my results are. For me, it's family is the first love that I had, and I hope that in Mugello maybe is a possibility to invite them, because for me it's really important to have them in one of the races this year.
You've also said that Sean Galael, F2 driver Sean Galael, is like a brother to you. How did you meet those guys, and how did you end up in a position where they could finance your early career?
To be honest, it was a strange meet, because I was in karting in 2011, and I was one of the best driver over there. I was winning some races with PCR. And at that moment, Sean, was in karting for the first year in Europe, and he tried with his dad to invite me in one of the races to be his coach for that race. And after
that's the boss who's just walked in, Fred Basser. And he's stealing our peanuts.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry,
no. It's and after that, everything started. I had a really good relationship with Sean, with Ricardo as well, and friendship start from there. And I remember after that race, I went to UK with them for the first time for me in UK. We had one weekend there. And his dad actually came to me that moment. It was after 5 days I met him. He came to me and said, I promise you that I will support you until Formula 2. After that, we'll see. This was a promise for me that Mr. Ricardo Galael did to me on back here 2011. And he actually, in the end, if I'm looking back, he was right, because until Formula 2, because of him, I went to Formula 2. And now I'm here also because, the most of the success is because of him. Because without him, for sure, I will see Bill now in karting, maybe a professional driving karting, but I wasn't able to go to Formula Car.
So you lived in Indonesia with Ricardo Galael and
yes,
the family,
in his house, yes.
and ate a lot of KFC.
Yes.
How are you so slim? I don't know. I'm with your mum. I don't understand. And did you learn to love Asia while you were out there?
Of course, in terms of food, I was really far from Italian food. But I had, for sure, I had, a good life, because I lived in a fantastic house that they had back in Jakarta. But I start to realize how different Asian people are. And I was actually already, when I was in Formula 4 and Formula 3, when I was going to Jakarta, I was quite famous, more than Italy, because we were in every part in the in the KFC zone.
We should probably add here that the Galaels have, the KFC franchise in the whole of Indonesia.
Yes.
That's where the money was.
Yeah, so when I was in Indonesia, I was quite famous, and it was really nice. You see, already from I was quite young, and in Formula 4, but when I was in Indonesia, I was looking like a Formula 1 driver. So it was really nice, and I spent a lot of time with Sean. He was younger than me, so he was still on the school. So I was waiting for him to be back from the school, and then we played together. at that moment when I went to Indonesia, I didn't know one word of English. So I started to study a little bit of English with him when he was back to the school, back from the school. And, and now in the end, I think I went to Formula One, he's Formula 2. So we did, I think, a good career together. And I hope the best for him because for me, like I say, he's a brother.
Talking of people who have had big influences on your career, we've mentioned two, your father and Riccardo Galael, but I also wanted to ask you about your relationship with the late Sergio Marchionne, in that he was a big supporter of yours, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think, back in 2016, he was the man that he wanted me really hard on the Ferrari family. And yeah, because of him, I went to Ferrari in the end of 2016. He was a really clever man and really straight as well. I think I still remember the first meeting I had with him. Was a guy that was really difficult to speak with him because you felt always one step down to him. But in the end, I think I was one of the smarter men I met. And for me, it was just a privilege to have the opportunity to work with him. And I always, like you say, you took a right point. For me, it was three persons that was really important for my career. The first of all, for sure, it's my dad, then Galael, Riccardo, and then Sergio Marchionne, because he wanted really, really bad me in Ferrari, and now I'm here also because of him.
What was it about you that he liked so much? Because there are a lot of young Italians coming through.
Yeah, I don't know. It's from the first moment he liked me, and of course, I was coming from a good season in Formula 2 in GP2 in 2016. I was an Italian, and I won in Monza, and I don't know, but I think we had always a good relationship. Also, when he was in the track, he liked to speak to me. So I'm just, like I say, really, really proud that I met and I work with people like him.
What was life like as Ferrari's test driver, reserve driver? I mean, you drove the sim a lot, but how did you actually help the Formula One team? What does that job entail?
I think in the end, of course, now we can't test anymore. And the only way to improve the car and developing the car during the season is the simulator. And I was spending really a lot of hours there. Actually, in 2017, my first season there in Ferrari, I took a house really close to Maranello, and I was from Monday to Friday on the sim. And I did a lot of work there. I think it was good for the team, but was in the end good also for me. I think it's there where I start to work with the best people in Formula One, with the best engineering. And also in my career, this make me, I think, a better driver in there. It was not just a simulator day. I think it was a lot of work there. I start to, explain better what the car was doing and everything. So I think was good for me for my career, but like I say, unfortunately, we couldn't race on the simulator, and this is what I miss when I was back in Formula One.
I'm going to ask you an impossible question now, but if Sergio Marchionne was still alive today, do you think you would be racing for Ferrari in 2021?
I don't know. Only, nobody can know now. But this is life.
Did he talk to you about a potential race seat in the years to come?
I think when he took me, maybe this was the idea, but you never know in life how is things going on. And now nobody know what could be with him now here. So, I think in the end, you need to take what you have now. And I will not be in 2021 in a Ferrari car. But this doesn't mean that I will not be in the future. So I'm still pushing on my, everything I have, like always I did. My dream from when I started this career was to become a Formula One driver, but of course in a Ferrari. And it's still my dream. And I will never give up until, I don't see anymore that opportunity. I think I have that opportunity, and I still need to do a lot of work to achieve that goal.
What has the team said to you? Because they're going with Carlos Sainz next year. But when they didn't choose you, did they say anything like, look, he's only got a contract for 2 years and we are seriously looking at you for 2 years' time?
Mattia called me straight away. And, I think he get the right point. I think it was, for him, it was not the right moment to achieve that seat. But I think, also if I'm looking back, like I say, I never had something easy in my career. I always fight. It's always, when you achieve that target, it's better, if you're a fighter and for that things, So I think also looking back was not the right moment to go to Ferrari for me. But like I said before, this doesn't mean that I will not have that seat in the future. So
why do you think it wasn't the right moment?
Because I think after the first season, of course, I grew up a lot during the season. But I think to be a Ferrari driver, you need to honestly to have a great result. And I think this, of course, I took the P5 in Brazil, but was not, I think, enough to achieve that seat. And I want that, if I become Ferrari driver, I want just that I become Ferrari driver because I deserve that seat, and not because I'm Italian and not because I'm big supporter from I don't know who. And so I just want the seat because I deserve, and this is what I will do in the next years, and hopefully I can have that seat in the future.
Maybe there's an element of them protecting you a bit because you're Italian and the extra pressure that would bring. What is your relationship with the Italian media like?
It's good. Like you say, of course, an Italian driver in a Ferrari is the worst combination for media because they want for sure, the maximum. They want the maximum for Ferrari because the name, because the history, because, I think it's the best team in the world. And of course, if you find an Italian driver in the Ferrari, it's something they want it, is the best combination. So from the best combination, they want the best result. It's also maybe, like you say, maybe they protect me because, like I say, it was not the right time. And maybe they put me in 2021 and after a few races, the media will destroy me. And then after 1 year, I'm just out of Formula One. So honestly, I'm not, of course, if I had a call, I was take straight away. But I'm not worried too much because, like I say, I don't see that my dream is ending there. But it's still a lot in front of me, and I still want that seat, and I will do all my best to take it.
We're going to hear more from Antonio after this short message. For those of our listeners looking to add a new skill, such as learning a language, I have just the thing that can help you on that journey. Babbel is designed to get you speaking a new language within weeks with daily 10 to 15 minute lessons. It's available as an app or online, so no matter where or when you log on to a lesson, your progress will be synced across all of your devices. There are 14 languages to choose from, including French, Spanish, Italian, and German. And what I really like about Babbel is that it's created by more than 100 language experts, real people putting their experience into practice for you in a funny and educational way. You learn through interactive dialogue that mirrors what you might encounter out in the real world. So you can feel confident showing off your new skill, and most importantly, you can learn at your own pace at a time that suits you. So why not give it a try? Right now, Babbel is offering our listeners 6 months free with a purchase of a 6-month subscription with the promo code GRID. Go to babbel.co.uk/play and use the promo code GRID on your 6th-month subscription. That's Babbel, babbel.co.uk/play, promo code GRID. But for now, let's dive back into our chat with Antonio. You're the first Italian to race in Formula One since 2011, and there hasn't been an Italian world champion since Ascari. Why do you think Formula One is so tough for Italians?
I don't know. In this moment, I think the first thing is that karting is costing too much. And unfortunately, in Italy, we don't have any big sponsorship that can help you already on the beginning of your career. So this first point. And second point, to be honest, I don't know. I think so far I saw that in the low category, also in karting, we have a few good Italians that they are coming, and hopefully, is in the future can be more Italians in F1 grid and try to finally to one of them to win the world championship.
But do you think, in a way, Ferrari attracts all of the media coverage, all of the any funding there is coming from Italy goes to Ferrari and not to the drivers. Is there a case of that, do you think?
It's difficult to compete with Ferrari, especially in Italy, like you say. I think this brand is one of the most popular in the world. So it's difficult to compete with one of them. But why not to be an Italian winning with a Ferrari? I think then everything can change. The attention can come also on the driver. I think in the end, if you find a fast driver and doing a great result, the attention can come also to the drivers. It's not only Ferrari, of course. Like I say, you cannot compete with Ferrari, but the result can resolve your question.
How big a deal was it when you made your debut in Melbourne 2017 with this team? Okay, it was called Sauber back then. Was it huge in Italy?
Yes, and also because it was not a normal debut, because
it really wasn't, was it? In fact, can you remind us, how much warning did you get? Did Pascal even did he practice the car on the Friday?
So I went to Melbourne for the first time for me as well, and I went there like a reset driver Ferrari. Then I did Thursday with Ferrari, Friday with Ferrari on the garage, and then I went to sleep Friday night, and I had some rumors, that I remember the text from Maurizio Rivabene that he texted me and say, maybe we have an opportunity to race tomorrow on Sauber. I say, on Friday night, tomorrow is Saturday. It's no way, it would be a joke or, something like this. I was sure that I will not race that weekend, So I went to sleep quite well. Luckily, I went to sleep like always at 10 o'clock and not going in somewhere and partying and everything. So I went on the bed, and then in the morning I woke up at 9 o'clock, I remember, and I saw a text from Maurizio, and I say, so you will race with Sauber this weekend. So first of all, I say, no way, maybe I'm still sleeping. And I was thinking that I was dreaming this. Then I tried to wake up really well, and I see again the text, and actually, was like that. And I went to the track. Everything was so fast because I went there. I tried the seat, and I watched the schedule of the day, and it was only 1 hour because it was FP3. And in that 1 hour, they want me to do high fuel run, low fuel run, and learn the track, because for me it was a new track. So I did so many fixes in that FP, and I remember the Saturday for me. I came back on the Saturday night that I was completely destroyed, because I did so many things from 11 o'clock to after quali that I was completely destroyed. But in the end, I think it was actually quite good, because I went almost in Q2 on Saturday. And then the race also was nice. I really like Melbourne, like a track, like
a difficult track at the best of times, actually, isn't it?
Yes, it was not, because in the end it's also a street track, so it's not an easy track. But I really liked, and in the end I think I had a really fantastic weekend. And I remember, that Sunday night I traveled to go to Melbourne on business class, and to come back, Ferrari, like a present of my first Grand Prix, give me opportunity to fly back on first class. Everyone said to me, so you will have a personal chef that can cook for you. And I was, yeah. And then I come on the fly, and I sit like normal. I didn't went also on the full bed mode, because I was able to, we will fly. And I remember that as soon as I sit, I fully sleep. And I wake up when we landed in Dubai. So
so exhausted by the whole thing.
Yes, and then I slept in the first class on the normal, like sitting like normal. So can you imagine?
You could have been in economy.
Yes. So this was something strange, but I think I had a good memories of that weekend.
Antonio, I remember you being a very cool customer that weekend. Suddenly, I mean, you came in on Saturday morning having just heard the news. The media comes in, and I think they had a very quick press call with you out the back of the garage, yes. And you just dealt with it. I was very surprised that no one at the team had given you the heads up that Pascal Wehrlein had an issue, because he'd had a crash at the Race of Champions a long time before. It's all sort of sprung on you so late. It seems extraordinary, really.
Yes, I still, I think it was, looking now, the best debut, because, in the end, I didn't have the opportunity to think about my debut, because, on Saturday morning I went on the track and everything was so far, I did this small interview as well on all things I did. But in the end, I think it was lucky for me because I didn't think much about my debut, and I felt more pressure when I was back in last year in Melbourne, my first race like official driver. I felt more pressure there because I felt more like that one was my first Grand Prix. Honestly, that Melbourne 2017 for me was just a crazy weekend. But I have really good memories from that one.
So look, great first impression. We then went to China. It wasn't quite so good, was it?
Oh, and there is a major incident once again involving Antonio Giovinazzi, who crashed in qualifying, and he has crashed quite heavily on lap 4 of this Chinese Grand Prix. The safety car will now be deployed, a huge amount of debris over the track, and Giovinazzi has had a weekend in Shanghai to forget.
What was your mentality going into that race? Did you feel more pressure going into China?
Was again another difficult weekend because I knew before going to China that I would race on that weekend. But again, on Friday I missed FP1, FP2 because the weather was a fog, so we didn't do a laps, and again it was starting again from zero from FP3. But yeah, I think after Melbourne that I went close to the points. I was P12, something like this, and I was almost in Q2. I felt that I could go in Q2 straight away in China. But actually, maybe before last corner, I was quite fast on that lap. But then, I crashed in the last corner before finish the lap. That I think was good enough to go to Q2. But yeah, I think this happened, and then on Sunday, again, it was a difficult race for me. It was a difficult track. Was just raining a little bit, and then we pitted for dry tires, and then I had aquaplaning on the main straight and crashing again, almost on the same point. I remember that night, when I flew to back to Italy, I was really destroyed, because after a good weekend, a good impression in Formula One, like I said before, on the media, just in 2 weeks, I was maybe the next Ferrari driver,
hero after Melbourne.
And after China was again really shit and really bad to crash in one weekend. And it was not, the worst things this was my last race at that moment. And so then after days, the idea of Giovinazzi was that the guy that crashed in China for 2 times, and I wasn't able to be back in the car and show who is Giovinazzi already after 2 weeks, So for me it was really, really tough. And I had a difficult days after that. But then I put on my mind, that if I'm here in Formula One, is because I had enough talent to be here, and I start to focus on my goals. That at that moment was the third driver of Ferrari, so I tried to give all myself to be on the simulator, also 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Do my job and never give up on my dream that be back on the F1 grid like official driver. And then I did all right in these 2 years. Never be angry with Ferrari because they didn't give me the opportunity straight away. Always be calm and do my work. I still training like I was supposed to race in that year every day. And in the end, I think, like I said before, all sacrifice you do, in the end, I think they pay off. And this what happened also to me to be back in the F1 grid.
But also in 17, you did some FP1 sessions for Haas. And how much of a lifeline was that? Just to sort of keep yourself out there, keep yourself in the headlines.
I think the FP1 is the worst things for an driver. It's the worst session.
Why?
It's the worst session on the weekend because the grip in the track is really poor, and you have always a strange program with the team. You'd never put a software compound, never try the quali. So, and then you go on the car, and beside you is a driver who's racing there for, I don't know, half a year or maybe more than a year. So really well the car, really well what he need to do in FP1. So it's difficult to beat him on only 1 hour in 1 hour and 30 minutes. So for me, it was not easy to show who I was in that moment. But then I tried to, at least on the rookie test, to do my best, and I think I did 2 times the best time with Ferrari in Hungaroring and Barcelona. I was second in Bahrain. So I think there where I show a little bit more to Ferrari who I was, and then finally I become an official driver. Now I need sometime give the car to in F1 to another driver.
You do actually, don't you? Yeah, worst session of the weekend. Have fun. So, 2019, official Alfa driver. Again, wasn't the easiest start, but second half of the season was really strong. How do you reflect on year one?
Yeah, like I said before, the first part of the season I was struggling mostly on the race pace, and this what on the summertime I really study what was better for me to improve on that side. And I think when I come back after the summertime, was Spa, actually this first race, and was the best race I did in I think so far in Formula One. I was the pace was really good. I did a good overtake also to a driver like Ricciardo, Pierre. I was I think really happy until the last lap, but. After what happened in the last lap, but in the end of that race, of course, I was angry with myself. But on the other side, I was really happy because it was the first time that I felt that, like I said before, Antonio was back. Because I had a good overtake, it was a really good pace, and also in quali, I was really happy because before I broke the engine broke, and I was a little bit faster to Kimi, that I think in this track is one of the best. So I was just really happy with so it was a 50%, 50-50, But then, the second part of the season, when as soon you get that confidence that you can do, you can fight, everything become more easy. And this is what happened to me on the second part of the season. Of course, we struggled a little bit with the cars on that moment, so the result didn't come, also if I was improving. But in the end, I was happy also in Brazil that we achieved the top 5 in Formula 1. And it was a great race. P9 in Monza, that for me was important. Singapore was also another...
Singapore. Can we talk about those 4 laps? Right? You led the Grand Prix for 4 laps.
Giovinazzi now leads the Singapore Grand Prix, which is brilliant. Giovinazzi, by the way, the first man from outside a Mercedes, Ferrari or a Red Bull car to lead a Grand Prix since Williams, the British Grand Prix 2015.
Of course, I knew that I was on different strategy, but when I saw,
good, right?
when I saw come out from the last corner and I saw the pit board and I was P1, I say, oh, this I didn't see this since 2016 in Formula 2, so it was great. And then I still remember, when I finished the race, my phone was full of texts about everyone did the video when I was P1, and was nice. They did also a T-shirt with when I was with the result Giovinazzi P1. Was nice. It was nice to lead a Grand Prix, and also in Singapore, that I think is one of the hardest hardest track. Temperature is so hot, humidity is so high, and you're still on the street track that you cannot do a mistake because then you are on the wall. So I think also there was a great weekend.
Are these current cars quite difficult to get the maximum from? Could it have taken you half a year just to work out how to extract the maximum? Because everyone says the fastest Formula One cars ever, but they're actually the heaviest Formula One cars, and they're ludicrously powerful. And does it just take a few races and a bit of time to learn how to get those last 2 or 3 tenths?
Yeah, these last 2-3 tenths is most difficult things to find. And like you say, of course I don't have much experience about the cars from the past, because so far I just drove the car with especially with an hybrid engine. But yeah, they are not easy to drive, I will say. Of course, they are so fast, and this is the problem, because they have so much grip and they are so fast that to be on the limit is not easy. But I can tell you that to drive these cars, especially a track like Spa, today on the quali lap, also if I was P18 and 1 second plus more than 1 second off from P1. Something that you feel great, you feel lucky to be an F1 driver and drive these cars in a track like Spa.
So go on then. Next year, the boss Fred has already been in and thrown peanuts at us, but has he set you any goals that you need to achieve between now and the end of this year to get yourself in the drive for 2021? What's he said?
Yeah, not really. I think Fred is a really straight guy. I like him because if he wants something from you, he will come to you and say straight away. And this is what I like him. Plus, the experience he got with a lot of fast drivers like Hamilton, Vettel. So for me, it's important to have him on my my first 2 seasons in Formula One like team principal, because I think I can learn a lot from him and also from his feedback. But so far he didn't tell me what I need to do to have a seat next year as well. From my side, I know from my side what I need to do. That is the maximum, and like I say, in this moment the best is to be in front of your teammate. But plus, take score points when you can. That is what I did in Spielberg. Don't do much mistake, and and be consistent. I think in a Formula One, this is the good things. Is be consistent every race. Is the things that make you a better driver, and your valuation is going higher. So this is what I want from my season this year, and see what will happen then for next year.
Will Ferrari have any say in what you do next year?
Not yet. I think also they have a lot of drivers from Formula 2 that they are doing well, but like I say, if I'm doing my job and I'm doing on the I'm fast enough, nobody can take my seat. My target is to continue with this team also next year, because I think for me it's the right choice. I think I felt good with them. Now in the second year already, I know better the people, my engineer, and so it's become already like a family for me. It's really good to spend time with them, not just on the track, but also outside of the track. We had a lot of fun during the 2 weeks in Silverstone on the road. From Monday to Wednesday, we had a lot of fun together. We played football together. We played ping pong together. So I'm just really happy.
Are you competitive in everything?
Yes.
So if I started playing,
yes.
If we played a game of ping pong now, you would just have to beat me.
I'm just feel bad if I'm losing. So in everything I'm doing. So and this is something I know is not good, because I sometimes with my friends back in Puglia also doing some stupid things. If I was losing, I was fighting with them. Don't speak with them for months. I know it's not good, but I think is an athlete arrive on the best of his sport, especially like me in Formula One. I'm sure that every driver here in Formula One, they are competing in everything, because this is the mentality you need to have from when you start your career, because if you're happy with every result, okay, I'm P8, I'm really happy, you will not achieve your target. This is what I want. I know that now, I'm fighting for going to Q2, but I'm always pushing myself, and I'm always pushing the team, because I want, that maybe going to Q3 can be a target, scoring points, and this is the mentality I think every driver in Formula One have.
The final part of our conversation with Antonio is coming up after this. If you're currently researching your way through the hundreds of VPNs available online, trying to find the best one for you, well, let me tell you why ExpressVPN is considered the #1 VPN in the world and comes highly recommended from tech experts at Wired, The Verge, and CNET. ExpressVPN doesn't log your data like many of the free VPNs do, and it's incredibly speedy. When I'm traveling around, the last thing I need is a VPN that makes my internet connection sluggish. But with ExpressVPN, I can connect to servers thousands of miles away and still stream HD quality videos with zero lag. It's simple to use. All you have to do is fire up the app and click one button to connect, and you're ready to go. So protect yourself today with the VPN that you can trust. Use the link expressvpn.com/grid and get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/grid. Visit expressvpn.com/grid to learn more. Okay, here it is. Let's dive back into the final part of our chat with Antonio. Why are you a racing driver? Is it the love of driving, or is it the love of competition, given everything that you've just said?
Good question. I think it's a combination, of them. I love drive a car. I love drive a Formula One car, but I love also the competition. I cannot be on the sport like football, when you need to play with another guys, because I'm, like I say, I cannot lose. But if I lose, it need to be because I did a mistake, or, I know who did the mistake. But if you are 11 people, and maybe some people do a mistake and you lose because of them, I think I will be really angry to them. So I think, I'm here just because I love, first of all, drive a car. I love be on the limit with a Formula One car. And plus because I love competition, for everything I'm doing, I start to say, okay, let's do a race, let's do a competition. For me, it's really on my mind every time I'm doing something.
What are you bad at? If I was going to take you on in a competition, what could I stand a chance of beating you in?
I think in the sport, I'm really bad in basketball. And, Sean, Galael, he was actually really good. And he was, after motorsport, he was his first passion. So when we were in Indonesia, he woke up me sometime at 5:30 in the morning, because then he was supposed to go to school at 7. But from 5:30 to 6:30 was, he called me and said, let's go play basketball. And I was so bad. Plus, it was 5:30 in the morning.
Are you good in the mornings?
No, I'm not good. I like sleep in the morning. And, after that moment, I just, I start to think about that moment, 5:30 basketball. And now if somebody tell me, well, let's go play basketball, I just say, fine.
Okay, basketball it is.
Yes, basketball. Yeah.
Few other things, if I may. So Fred cut your hair off in Austria last year, didn't it? Or a little bit. It was only a little
bit, fortunately.
But I've been looking at photographs of you, and when you were karting, you had quite long hair, but never this long. Now, you can't blame this on lockdown completely.
No. No,
Because it's long. I mean, when you take it out of the ponytail, how far down does it come?
It's quite long. I show you now. It's quite long. It's almost 1 year, maybe more than 1 year.
Yeah, you see. This is
yes,
not a visual medium, the podcast, but it is. You've just taken it out of your hairband, and it's properly long.
Yes, I
below your shoulders. So, do you just hate hairdressers, or?
No, I just like long hair. I don't like a short haircut. I know it's more comfortable, especially for a driver, using helmets. And, I spend so much time. Yesterday, I clean every night you need to clean your hair when you race, and I spend maybe almost 1 hour to dry up this long hair. So, but, in the end, I just like long hair. And like you say, since I was in karting, my dad always, I was always on the long hair. And only one time, actually, I had a short haircut. And, I didn't like myself, with the short haircut. So now it's really long, I know. But because I have bet with myself, the bet is that I will do a short haircut just if I go on the podium. So I don't know how long it will take. Maybe you will see me like...
There's lots of reasons I want to see you on the podium, but that is definitely one of them.
But yeah, so far I just like long hair, I would say, yes.
I've also been told that you're very good at maths.
Yeah, I was really good on the school. It's the only times I got, I don't know how in England it
good
works.
Results.
Yes, it's from 0 to 10, right? 10 is the best one. And it's the only times I got 9+. I still remember that moment. And I was in math because I just like numbers in general. And also for this, maybe, I like data as well, to watch data, numbers. Because I don't know why. Since I was a kid, I hate history. I always hate this. All the other, but math for me was, I was always quite good from the beginning of the school to the end. And like I say, it was the only 9+ that I got in my life was in math.
What's 25 times 7?
25?
Multiplied by 7. How good at maths are you? Do you know? Because I was interviewing Jean Todt, and Jean Todt is brilliant.
I know.
Maths.
I saw this. I heard this. Yeah,
and he's scary.
Not as good as him, I think. Yeah. No, now also my practice is not anymore good.
What about bees? Honeybees? Have you still got the bee on the back of your helmet?
Yes.
What is it about bees?
For me, it's it's. In Formula 3 and Formula 2, I always had a yellow car. I don't know if you remember, because the color of Jagunia Yam was a yellow. Yes. And always before a great result, I remember. Also, this is some good things to tell you that, before Austria, Red Bull Ring, the first race, before the race, I was, warming up before the race. And in my room actually came 2B. This was strange, 2B in my room, like just really close to me. And then I scored 2 points in the race, straight away. So it's something strange, but for me always is really important. Like I see in Formula 2, all the time before the race, and especially before a great result, like winning a race or good comeback, was always a B before the race on my car. I don't know why, but this make me like to choose this like my lucky things, and for this I put also on my helmet.
Do you actually know anything about bees? Because my wife wants to keep bees. She's obsessed with bees. I think because she likes honey.
No, yeah. First of all, I love honey as well, and plus I think that the bee is really small. But in the end, if you, I don't know in English how you say, but it's really strong in the end. Also, if it's really small, it makes scare everyone. You see, if any people see a B, it start to, worry too much. And this, if you're also small and make all the people scared, something good, I think.
There are 16,000 species of bees. That's the only thing I know.
16,000.
Yeah. I said to the wife, where are you going to keep these?
Really?
I think each hive can have, I think it's up to 60,000 bees in a hive. So if you see me at a race, I've just got plasters all over me. It's because I've been stung, probably.
Okay.
Now, you're now in Monaco, aren't you?
Yes.
Very different environment to where you grew up. How are you finding it?
For me, honestly, I like to live there because, first of all, I'm really calm person. I don't like, to party and to live in a town with a lot of traffic, a lot of things, Just Monaco for me is really calm. People don't stress you too much. And the life I'm doing, is just home, gym, home, sometimes a restaurant. Now not anymore with the COVID things. To live in a place with a good weather for me is the main things, If you go, wake up in the morning, you see a sea outside, it's something that make your day just smoother and better, So for me, Monaco is one of that town that is always, I don't know why, a good weather. You have a sea there. So I know it's not Martina Franca, but in the end it's really similar to Martina Franca because we have always a good weather. We have a sea there. We have a good person. Okay, Monaco, I don't speak much with the people, but I think in the end they are really different, but in the end quite similar.
Do you have any drivers that you speak to in Monaco? Are you friends with anyone on the grid?
Yes. In the end, like you say, there's many drivers living in Monaco. I once, sometime we like the same restaurant with Charles, and it's Mozza, is in Monaco, and actually we were together there last Saturday. Of course, I was with my girlfriend, he was with his girlfriend. But yeah, I saw him there, and then we went some time out with Daniel Kvyat that is living there as well.
Oh, do you ever see Daniel Kvyat in the gym? Because he's a boxer.
Yeah, I know. But no, not in the gym. Not in the gym, just at the restaurant. I know it's a boxer. No, just at the restaurant, yes.
Yeah. So, but it's a fun place to hang out?
It's not much to do, to be honest. But yeah, I like cycling, and
good hills around there.
Yes, good hills around there. So it's good for me. This, and then when you have a good weather, you can do everything. You can go for a run, and you can go.
Now, look, here's the thing about Monaco. You're living in an apartment. How have you got room for all of your white trainers?
Why this question?
Because
the white shoe. Okay.
Because I've been told you've got boxes and boxes of these things.
You see, also this is
what are you wearing
Asics,
now?
But it's white. I love white shoes. And I live
Why white, first of all? Is it something to do with Martina Franca and the centre of Martina Franca being whitewashed? That's what I was trying to think. Why is everything white?
No, I don't know. I would just like to wear white shoes. And don't tell me, I don't know why, to be honest. But since I was a kid, I always liked to have white shoes. It's the worst color also to have, shoes on white because it's so sensitive on the...
Always having to clean them, I guess.
Yes. But I just... and I have a lot, like you say. And I have also...
How many pairs have you got?
I don't know. Now I bring some of them back in Martina Franca because I was full at the house. But yeah.
So I was right about the room in the apartment.
Yeah. I think 15, 16, something like this. Yes.
Hey, 2 weekends, Italian races.
Can't wait.
It's going to be mad, isn't it?
Yes, I think, first of all, I think no one had the chance to have 3 home Grand Prix. And this, it means that Italy, in the end, I think we have so many things. We are, I think, really good on the food. We have so many good plays. And plus, we have 3 track in the Italy to have a Formula 1 Grand Prix, So something's crazy. But I'm really happy, that I will be the first driver that will race in 3 home Grand Prix. I think Monza has always been special. This year will not be special as last year because will be not fans there. But it's always special to race there. And plus we will have Mugello and Imola that I think they are 2 historic track and fantastic track. I think with this new car, Mugello will be amazing. I can imagine Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2 with this car. It will be for the next.
I love the fact that the 2 best corners in Mugello are called Arrabbiata.
It's good. It's not the faster, but they are really angry as well. And
actually, how fast is it going to be? I mean, I heard Charles Leclerc saying...
Yeah, they drove there.
But that was with a 2-year-old car.
Yes.
And they broke the lap record on control tyres with a 2-year-old car. Rubens Barrichello, I think, has the lap record from 2004.
I think.
So
to be honest,
what's it going to be like in one of these cars?
I don't know. It's crazy, but I think in the end, Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2, they will be easy flat. You know, the first time I did Mugello was I went to MotoGP race, and it was a 2-seat MotoGP. You know, I was there with Randy Mamola with Ducati.
Oh, on the Ducati.
Yes. And it was the first time for me Mugello, and you know, I was now talking to you. It was one of the best experience I got. But in that moment, I honestly shit myself. And turn one, I went. We were so close to the curve. I said, okay, now we will fall down. And then we went to Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2 with this MotoGP, and it was honestly was crazy. And I can imagine now with a Formula One car. I tested there one time with a GT car just before Le Mans in 2018. But for sure, with these cars will be really amazing. And plus also Imola. You know, Imola, I raced there in Formula 3 back in 2014. And plus all the history that, you know, and all the drivers that the race there, also Kimi, he told me that is really great track. And I'm looking forward for these two.
Just going back to the motorbike, the Randy Mamola ride. How hard does Randy push when he's got someone riding pillion with him?
He told me that if you can follow him quite well in the corner, he can push more. And actually, I was following him quite well.
So follow as in lean into the corner with him. Don't try and sort of...
Yeah, because then he can feel and he's just dangerous, you know. So I was actually doing well, he told me, and he was pushing... he said he was pushing quite 80%. I don't trust him because from my side he was pushing like 100%.
Yeah. Is it scary? Because I guess he's still doing 100 and...
Yes, he's doing this. I think not now because the COVID things, but in the last when I did, it was 2 years ago, and last year I did 2 times. I'm really crazy, but I did 2 times, and he was doing almost every weekend, Friday and Saturday. So he was doing some laps, and honestly, what surprised me mostly in MotoGP bikes that I never will think about was the brakes. As soon as we went to turn 1 on the brakes, I almost went up to him, and that was honestly, you know, was the speed I didn't feel much. I think in Formula 1 you can feel more. But brakes was surprised me quite a lot. Plus, of course, when we start to turn, that I saw the curves that was 1 meter from my visor was honestly something crazy.
So if I was to say to you, who are your sporting heroes, would you choose someone from car racing or someone from MotoGP or another sport?
You know, of course, in motorsport, I saw this so many times. It was Michael Schumacher, you know, because he was in Ferrari. It was, you know, at that time that I was follow Formula One. He was winning every race. For me, it was, you know, the person that bring me more on this world. But I think in general, Valentino Rossi, you know, for me was, and he's special, you know, because what he did in that sport, winning so much, but plus also the attitude, you know, after the race, before the race, it was just so fun, you know, to watch him on the race, and he, you know, fighting for the first, all the time he was the one who won, you know, it was crazy. On the last lap, he was second, fighting for first. He always ending to win the race. So for me, it was always something that. I always like it, and I think he was, I would say, the hero on not just in motorsport but the general hero.
Have you met him?
Yes, met him. The first time was in 2018 in Misano, and it was special day. Yes.
Now you know we've been talking about what it would be like for you to be a Ferrari driver, an Italian driving for Ferrari. I remember before, I think it was the 2006 season, being in Valencia and watching Rossi test the Ferrari alongside Schumacher, and he was quick. Yeah, and anyway, the deal never happened, but can you imagine Rossi as a Ferrari driver? That would have sent the whole place into spasms, wouldn't it?
Yes, I spoke with some people in Ferrari, and they said he was actually fast. So
properly, genuinely fast.
Yes,
yeah, so quick enough to do it.
Yes. It's impressive that. I think to go from MotoGP to Formula 1 maybe it's a little bit more easy to go from Formula 1 to MotoGP. This will be really, I don't know, I never speak with Hamilton that he did this one, but I'm quite sure that going from MotoGP to Formula 1 is much easier than go from Formula 1 to MotoGP. But, you know, also in rally is really good. He's doing the Rally of Monza on the end of the year, and he won these 2-3 times. So it's crazy how he can be fast in 2 wheels and 4 wheels.
Do you like driving anything? Could we ever see you doing the Rally di Monza or something
Yeah,
like that?
I'm. I don't know what will happen, but I think rally is one of the things that I would like to test one time. Not much on the on like the rally of Monza that is on the track, but doing on the snow, on the Spain. I like the rally of Spain, so something like this. But we'll see in the future what will happen.
Let's see what's happening in the future. Best of luck. Hope we're going to see you here at Alfa next year. I'm sure we will.
Grazie.
Antonio, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Grazie.
It's hard not to like Antonio, isn't it? He's very easygoing, and there's no doubt that he's quick. No one sits 4-4 in qualifying with Kimi Raikkonen after 8 races without being able to drive quickly. You sense a steely determination in Giovinazzi that will stand him in good stead. He's made a big jump in performance from 2019 to 2020, and if Fred Vasseur gives him the nod for 2021, you'd expect him to make a similar jump forward again. What he needs is another points finish to help cement the team's 8th place in the Constructors' Championship. If he can do that, he'll be hard to ignore for 2021, even with a load of young, quick Ferrari juniors on his back. Antonio, good luck, and thanks for your time. I really enjoyed that chat. And thanks too to the guys and girls at Alfa Romeo for your help and hospitality, and to Fred for his wonderful cameo. I'll find a way to get you back for the peanut throwing. Don't you worry, Fred. Well, that's almost it for this week, but before we go, let's indulge in our weekly rummage through the virtual mailbag to see what you've been saying about the show. And we're delighted by some of your feedback about last week's episode on Jochen Rindt. Jochen's legendary status in the sport isn't lost on you, dear listeners, and nor was the anniversary of his death on the Saturday of Monza. Andy Page got in touch to say this. Hi, Andy. Great episode on Jochen. Loved hearing about the life of an F1 great. Super to hear from Jackie Stewart, Bernie and Helmut too. Legends never die. Their legendary status only grows with time, Andy. And to think that Jochen might have gone on to run Formula One with Bernie. He was clearly a phenomenon in so many ways. And Noel Cuddy said this. Jochen Rindt memories on the F1 Beyond the Grid podcast sounded boring. However, it was anything but. Tom Clarkson, that was so brilliantly done. The emotional contributions of JYS, Helmut and Mr. Eccleston provided a real insight into the man and why his memory lives on. Do you know what, Noel? I was astounded to hear Jackie get so emotional at the end. There's so much affection towards Jochen from these people. And thanks for your very kind comments, Noel. Uwe Super adds, incredibly moving episode, and Sir Jackie Stewart is so unbelievably precise in his recollection of facts that happened 50 years ago. The man seems to remember every gear change in every single corner at the age of 81, when I hardly remember where I parked my car 2 hours ago. I'm with you, Uwe, and particularly hire cars. They're buggers for hiding in multi-storey car parks, aren't they? And as for Jackie, the man is a legend. I could listen to him talk about Formula One all day long. And if you haven't heard the Beyond the Grid episode with him, it's well worth a listen. Have a scroll through our back catalogue. Well, that's all we got time for this week, folks. Thanks for listening, and here's a quick preview to next week's show. I'm seeing red already. Beyond the Grid is produced by F1 in association with Audio Boom. Until next time, keep it flat out.